Welcome back to Grace Hall. Apologies for the late start, but we are getting started here at the first set. Collgate currently has the volleyball, spikes it over. Lehigh is unable to return it. The score is currently 2-1 Lehigh. Collgate just scored their first point. Collgate serves it over. Lehigh responds with a bump. They set it up, spike it down. It is out of bounds, giving Collgate the point. Collgate with the ball, sets it down. Lehigh responds. Lehigh gets the point. Collgate did an illegal set over, giving Lehigh the point. The score is now 3-2 Lehigh. Collgate tries to tap it over. Lehigh responds. They try to set it up. They hit it over. Collgate is able to get it back. Collgate slams it down with a spike. It was called Lehigh point. Timeout has been called. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Milena Sheldon. I'm here again with Janine Cha-Cha.
Hi, hello.
And we are waiting here for timeout, I'm pretty sure, or they're reviewing whether or not the ball hit the line. But the current score is 4-2 Lehigh.
Reporting live from Grace Hall from Lehman Turner gym. We were just discussing how, during this bit of a side out, how Colgate's coming off of a 5-match win streak. And Lehigh's also been on a streak as well, winning the last 3 matches consecutively. And we're wondering how they'll hold up. So today we'll find out. We'll all find out together and we'll report it to you live.
Yeah, Colgate and Lehigh seem to be both on that streak right now. Any wins? They both seem to be in the game during the practices right beforehand. They both were very into their...
I agree. I noticed that as they were kind of warming up right before this match, Colgate has a lot of spirit, a lot of fire. Lehigh as well. We've got a pretty decent student turnout, so we'll see how that affects the match.
And the call was just made. The point was given back to Colgate, saying that the ball was in fact out. I'm sorry, in for Colgate.
All right, and Martinez is up to serve. The sophomore libero for Colgate.
Serves it over, makes it. Lehigh sets it up, unable to respond.
And that's an ace. Service ace from Martinez. Colgate takes the point. That was a nasty serve. It came over clean, it came over flat, and then it dropped in front of Brown.
It was an error by Lehigh, too. Lehigh responds with the set. Lehigh sets it over. Colgate is unable to respond. The score is now tied again, 4-4.
Schulte responds. She's able to roll it over, and Colgate isn't able to come up with the ball. Very nice dig by Brown on the right side. Again, another tough serve by Colgate, but Lehigh ends up with the point.
Lehigh serves it over. Colgate responds with a bump. They set it up, set it over. Lehigh responds with another bump in the dive set, spikes it over, but Colgate blocks, giving them the point. Colgate now has the point up.
Lehigh tries to run it down the middle. Unfortunately, the ball hits both the block and a little bit of the tape, and so it bounces back. And fortunately, there was no coverage on that side of the court, so Colgate got the point.
Colgate sets it over. Lehigh tries to set it up for the spike. Colgate with the dive and response, tries to hit it over. Lehigh responds. Lehigh tries to set up with the bump. Colgate hits it. Lehigh with the dive. Lehigh tries to head it down, but then Colgate is able to respond. We have a big, after a back and forth battle, Lehigh's the one who ends up with the point.
Great digs on both sides of the net by 19 Thompson for Lehigh, and also 19 as well. Again, Thompson, but for Colgate, both diving to
Lehigh
get the
hits it
ball.
over. Colgate responds, bump, set, spike it over. Lehigh was able to get it with the dive. They try to set it back over, but Colgate is able to also, and Colgate unable to respond to that hit.
Jones dived for the ball. Unfortunately, the ball didn't go up high enough for her teammates to get it over the net. Thompson again from Lehigh, diving it the exact same way she did in the last play.
Lehigh hits it over the net. Colgate responds, bump, set, spikes it over. That is in the line, giving Colgate the point. Perfect response back to that last error. The score is now tied again. Very neck and neck right now. We have some good rallies going on both sides. Rotations happening, giving each team a chance to serve it over.
And Chadwick, number 8 for Colgate's up to serve.
Chadwick serves it over, makes it over the net. Lehigh responds with a bump. They set it up, tries to spike it over, but it hits the net.
All right,
meaning
that
it went
set
outside.
goes a little long from Smith. So Washington isn't able to get a good clean swing out of it. It hits the antenna, and so the ball's out of play.
Colgate getting the point. Colgate now sets it up to serve it over. Makes it over the net. Lehigh responds. Lehigh tries to set it up with their 3 hits. Hit it over, and it makes it into the corner, giving them the point. The score is now tied again.
All right, Washington redeems herself, goes for the swing. It looked like it was going to be out, and no, the linesman called it in. Very tough ball to defend, because if it hits any part of the line, it's in, but you don't want to hit a ball that's going out.
Lehigh serves it over, makes it over the net. Colgate responds with their 3 hits, tries to bump it over. Lehigh responds. Lehigh sets it. It hit off of Colgate, giving Lehigh the point. Lehigh serves it over. Colgate responds, bump, set, spikes it over. Lehigh blocks, giving them the point.
There we see Washington coming with the wall. Great solo block. And Falkai, great serve for number 20 on Lehigh.
Lehigh serves it over. Colgate with the diving response. Colgate tries to keep it in the air. They serve it over. Lehigh barely gets the response. They have 1 more hit to make it over with a light bump, giving Colgate an opportunity to set it up. Colgate slams it down, giving them the point.
All right, Ovenmayer has a tenacious swing, was shut out. Got a little bit off of Lehigh's block, but the ball was in terminal. Goes again for the swing, and this time the Hawks weren't able to come up with it, and Colgate gets the point.
Colgate serves it over, makes it over the net. Lehigh responds, bump, set, tries to spike it over. It's blocked by Colgate, but they're able to keep possession. They try to spike it back, but Lehigh blocks it, giving them possession again. Lehigh is unable to respond to the spike, giving Colgate the point. The score is now tied up again. 9 all around.
There was a bit of a joust at the net. Thompson's serve got, it's funny, I keep on finding it interesting that both 19s have both sides.
Colgate with the serve, and it hits the net.
Thompson's serve was able to get Lehigh out of system, so for that last play, they made their setter run a little bit, and the play ultimately ended up in Colgate's favor.
Lehigh now has the ball. Possession, they serve it over. Almost a spike. Lehigh sets it up, hits it over the net. Colgate is able to keep the ball alive in the air. 1 more hit to make it over. Lehigh has the chance to set it up now. They spike it back. Colgate is able to bump it over. They spike it down. It is out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point. The score is now 11-9, Lehigh. Lehigh keeping possession. Lehigh serves it over, hits the net.
That's a service error for both Colgate and Lehigh.
Colgate now with possession, getting ready to serve it over.
Number 13 at the service line, Jones.
Jones sets it over. It is out of bounds, called beforehand, giving Lehigh the point. That is the 3rd service error, first without hitting the net. Too much power on that one. Lehigh now has possession. They serve it over, successfully over the net. And it is an ace. Colgate is unable to respond, hitting it out of bounds, giving
Tough
Lehigh the
serve
point.
From Kylie Brown, 15.
Lehigh serves it over. Colgate responds. They bump, set, spike it down for a perfect point. Great response to that last 2 errors. Lehigh is still up by 2 points. Colgate serves it over, makes it over the net. Lehigh sets it up, tries to spike it down. Colgate unable to block it, giving Lehigh the point. Beautiful setup there.
That was a great overhead pass to 20 to Meager. And she goes and is able to make a nice clean set. They're able to get the point.
Lehigh sets it up, served over the net. Colgate responds, bump, set. They try to spike it over. Lehigh tries to bump it back over, but it goes out of bounds, giving Colgate the point. Lehigh sets it up. Colgate's able to respond. Colgate tries to set it down. Lehigh blocks it, but then Colgate's able to keep it in the air. Colgate tries to tap it over, but Lehigh was barely able to keep it up. They spike it back over. Colgate unable to get that bounce, giving Lehigh the response. After a big rally, Lehigh is the one who ends up with the point.
All right, so now we're taking a media timeout. That last play was a great out of system decision by the Hawks. There was a secondary bump set made, and Fingal was still able to come in, take a rip down the middle, and get the Hawks their point.
Yeah, for sure. The score is currently 15-12 Hawks. They're very neck and neck right now, but very little errors too I'm seeing. Not too much mistakes happening. A lot of it is just unable to respond back to the big spikes happening.
This is an exciting first half of the set. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing some pretty tough hitters.
For sure, yes. And the energy is definitely up. It always is.
A lot of fire behind the swings on both sides of the net. So I think the biggest question for this, maybe it's a little preemptive, but I feel like this game is going to be about the defense and the blocking. Who's going to be cleaner, who's going to be quicker.
Yes. Lehigh seems to be taking back the court. Colgate still discussing. The timer did just go off, so we should be heading back now. Lehigh has possession of the ball, getting ready to serve it over. Subs are being made. Washington was just subbed in for Lehigh. Lehigh serves it over the net. Colgate responds with a bump, set, spikes it over, but it's blocked by Lehigh, giving us the point.
And there we see that classic McCartney-Smith block. They double up, perfect timing. That was a beautiful set from Colgate. And I thought that swing was gonna be terminal. Well, when you have that duel for the Hawks, gotta watch out, and they get shut out in response.
Yes. Lehigh serves it over, but Colgate was able to respond. Lehigh tried to set it up again, but was unable to make control, giving Colgate the point. The score is now 16-13 Lehigh. Colgate now has possession of the ball. Everyone's in ready position, knees low, hands in front. Colgate sets it over the net. Lehigh tries to do a quick response. Colgate was able to get it back. Try to set it, try to block. Lehigh sets it up, tries to block it, barely keeps it in the air, but unable to keep it up all the way, giving Colgate the point.
All right, Colgate goes for the swing down the middle. It touches the block. Washington's unable to get the ball up. It goes at an odd angle. When you hit, typically when the ball goes off a block, it goes at a very interesting angle, so it's very hard to cover that.
Colgate sets it over the net. Lehigh was able to do bump set spike. Colgate tries to set it back, spike it down, inside. Lehigh unable to touch that ball when they spiked it back down, giving them the point. It is now Lehigh 1 point ahead.
And that swing came from freshman outside hitter Bayless, number 22 for Colgate.
Colgate keeping possession.
Phenomenal swing, that one.
Set it over the net. Lehigh able to respond, bump set, spike it down. That was a sneaky one right there. It was a light little tap over the net. No, Colgate was not there to respond, giving Lehigh the point and keeping their lead. Lehigh now has possession over the ball, getting ready to serve.
All right, it's McCartney up to serve. That would be number 10.
Lehigh serves it over, makes it over the net. Colgate bump set, spikes it down and blocked by Lehigh. Colgate is able to keep it in the air, bump set, spike it down. Lehigh keeps it up, hits the ceiling. Lehigh is unable to respond, giving Colgate the point. It is now 1 point difference again. Lehigh ahead by 1. Colgate keeps possession now. Shadwick for Colgate serves it over. Lehigh's able to respond, but Colgate is able to tap it back down, giving them the point. It is now a tie game. Very intense first set happening here. Shadwick for Colgate serves it over, makes it over the net. Lehigh with the bump, set, tries to spike it down the middle. They're able to do it. Colgate tried to respond, hit off one of their players, went out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point. It is now 18-17 Lehigh. Lehigh with possession, setting up for their serve. Lehigh successfully serves over the net. Colgate unable to set it up, giving Lehigh that ace.
That was an ace, yeah.
Timeout has been called. I definitely see how defense has definitely been a big part of this, you know, all the bumps, giving them.
And one of the biggest and one of the first lines of defense comes from that service line, and we're seeing a lot of tough serves right now.
Yes.
Like right now, what's sent both teams into a timeout was that service ace.
For sure. And I'm seeing a lot of good blocks here. The blocks have definitely been a big contributor to
for
those
sure,
points.
yeah. Great timing, great reach.
Both teams definitely do seem to want it, though. The score being very close throughout this entire set. Again, win by 2 up to 25. Best out of 5 sets. All right, timeout is over. Both teams seem to be taking back the court. Every position here seems to be contributing. Outside hitters, middle blockers. Lehigh with possession now. Serves it over the net successfully. Colgate responds with a bump, set, spike it down. Lehigh tries to block it. It goes out of bounds, giving Colgate the point. It is now a 1-point set.
Great side out from Colgate right off Omene's block. Something that the Hawks wouldn't have been able to cover since it goes out of bounds.
Colgate serves it over successfully, but it goes out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point. That is a service error. Score now being 20 Lehigh, 18 Colgate. Lehigh serves it over successfully. Colgate able to respond. Bump set, spike it down. Lehigh successfully blocks it. That was in, very close call, but Lehigh gets the point on that one.
Great block by Omene. Bob almost dribbles over her block, but it goes back to the Colgate side of the net.
Lehigh serves it over. Colgate bump set, spike. Lehigh keeps it into the air, hits it over. Colgate sets it up. They try to hit it down, but Lehigh responds with a bump. Set. Now they're setting up for the spike. Colgate able to respond. They try to keep it in the air, do it successfully. Lehigh tries to keep possession, keeps it in. Colgate bump, set, spikes it down. That was called in, giving Colgate the points. Very good rally. Big game to keep it up there.
Free balls were going back and forth to both teams. Lehigh was able to capitalize off that one in the end. Great rally.
Lehigh was able to serve it back over. Correction to that last statement, Lehigh did get the point on that. Now Colgate got possession. The score being 22-19 Lehigh. Another short rally there. Colgate was able to get the point. Lehigh hit it a little too hard, making it go out of bounds. Colgate now with possession, getting ready to serve. Jones for Colgate is now serving, number 13. Jones serves it, makes it over the net. Lehigh responds with a bump, tries to set it back over, spikes it down, hits the net. Excuse me, it was blocked by Collgate. Collgate now spikes it down. It was called point Lehigh, it was outside. It was a very close call there. It looked like it might have been on the line.
Yeah, great setup. I almost thought it was on the line. I had to dip over the ledge a little bit to see, and the referee called it for me as well. That was outside.
Lehigh serves it over the net successfully. Collgate bumps it, spikes it down. Lehigh able to keep it up in the air, but cannot set it back up, giving Collgate the point. Lehigh now up by 3. Scores 23-20. Lehigh. Collgate with possession. Overmeyer for Collgate, getting ready to serve. Collgate serves, makes it over the net. Lehigh responds with a set. Now they bump, try to spike it down. Colgate able to get down and respond. Colgate sets it down. That looked like it was in, and it was. Colgate gets the point, making this a 2-point lead for Lehigh.
That's thanks to Martinez's great dig. Great response to a tough swing over the net. She gets the ball up. She gets her team back, getting the momentum. Now Colgate only has to get two more points back in order to tie up back with the Hawks, and a timeout is called.
Colgate still keeps possession here. They will be serving when they get it back. A lot of the times when you're on a hot streak, timeouts like to be called to break it. So it is likely that Lehigh is hoping that by the time they come back to serve, that streak will be broken.
One thing you don't want to do is send Colgate on a run.
Especially this
Colgate,
late.
Likewise, you don't want to send Lehigh on a run, so
No.
exactly.
I agree. This late into the set too, Lehigh is only 2 points away from winning this set.
There's a little bit of a gap, and you don't want that gap to get bigger, because at this point, when one team is only 2 points away from getting 7 points, every point counts. Every little action counts as well on the court.
Absolutely. About 12 seconds left here in the timeout. Colgate will be continuing their possession. Serving will be Overmeyer. And we're back. Everybody's taking their positions on the court. Colgate getting ready to serve. Let's see if the streak was broken. The timeout did the trick. Let's see. Nope. That is an ace. Lehigh seemed unprepared for that one.
Great efficiency back straight off the timeout. Overmeyer comes in with the ace.
Colgate serves it over successfully, but now Lehigh's able to respond, bumps that spike. Colgate is able to tap it back over. Lehigh keeping possession, keep it in the air. They try to spike it back. Colgate able to bump, set, spike it down. It is called in, giving Colgate the point. We had a little rally going there, but now the score is tied, 23 all.
All right.
Colgate continuing with possession, and another timeout.
Timeout has been called, and
Yes.
rightfully so, because that swing goes right into that deep corner, straight through all of Lehigh's defensive positions, straight in that, tucked into that corner, which is very hard to get out.
Definitely an intense end of the first set. The next 2 points could be the decision of the game. The set, excuse me.
That is true. Colgate has caught up. Will Lehigh be able to respond? We'll see.
Now is another opportunity for Lehigh to kind of try to break that streak here. The mentality has got to stay up on both sides. About 30 seconds left here in the timeout.
Keckler's in the business jacket, squatting down, looking her team in the eyes. In her 6th season as head coach at Lehigh University, she's giving them the talk, possibly lighting that fire under them. We'll see how they respond fresh off this timeout. I'm assuming for Colgate, Baker in his 18th season as a head coach for the university is telling them to lock in, keep their eyes on the prize, to not lose focus and to get the job done. 2 more points and they got this stat under their belts.
All right, we're setting back up here. Collgate keeping possession, serves it over successfully. Lehigh responds with a bump, tries to keep it in the air with the set, but it goes out, giving Collgate the point and the lead.
All right, stat point for Collgate. They have officially gone on a, 4-point run?
Something like that, yeah. A lot of points in a row.
And that's all been off of Overmeyer's serve. Let's
Colgate
see,
serves it over. It is out, giving Collgate the win.
And that she did.
Of the set.
Colgate takes the first set off of Overmeyer's deadly serve.
That was some streak to give them the win in the end of the set. They're now switching sides. Lehigh seemed to have the lead that entire set up until the end.
What do you think? That was crazy.
Yeah, talk about a comeback.
The Hawks had the lead, and then Colgate went on a run.
Yeah, they didn't
didn't
give up. Did not give up. Ball actually, when Colgate served it, it was bounced back up to where we are. So the ball is actually being retrieved now.
You can only imagine how forcefully that ball was sent over.
Yes.
Imagine trying to be on the receiving end of that.
Hence why Lehigh was unable to get that ball back over, giving Colgate the win of the set. About 2 minutes until our next set.
All right, and we'll see how both teams will respond after a little break.
And we are back here for the second set. Lehigh players seem to be hyping each other up right now. Lehigh is starting to serve as Colgate began the last set. We have Falkai for Lehigh, successfully serving it over the net. Colgate responds to the bump, set, spike it down. Lehigh unable to keep it up. Oh, they did keep that ball in the air. I wasn't sure there. There's some debate going on whether or not that hit the floor. But the decision is null, considering Colgate just got the first point. Colgate now has possession. Colgate successfully serves it over the net. Lehigh tries to spike it down, but is blocked by Colgate, but Lehigh's able to keep it in the air, spikes it over. Colgate responds with a set, spikes it down, hits off of Lehigh, giving Colgate a second point. The score is 2-0 Colgate.
And we're back. Super back. Colgate's fresh off that first set momentum with a 2-point lead.
Colgate sets it over, Lehigh spikes it down, and that is called in, giving Lehigh their first point of the set. Lehigh now with possession. Serves it
for the serve.
It hits the net. It is a service error, giving Colgate the point.
Much to her frustration, but hey.
Colgate serves it over successfully. Lehigh bump sets, taps it over. Colgate able to make the dive, giving them possession. They hit it too far out, giving Lehigh the point. Both errors evened each other out. Lehigh with a service error. Colgate hitting it too far. So it is out of bounds. Score is now 3-2 Colgate. Lehigh with possession, serves it over the net successfully. That is an ace. Colgate hesitated there. The dive was not able to get the ball up back in the air, giving Lehigh the point. The score is now tied up.
Brown had great, strong serves in the first set, and she's back at it again.
Here she goes. Lehigh serves it over. Colgate responds to the serve. Lehigh sets it down, and that is a point for Lehigh.
Schulte with the swing.
Beautifully hit right down.
Right in the corner.
Lehigh keeps possession.
All right, Lehigh's in the lead.
Lehigh serves it over successfully. Successfully over the net, but went out of bounds, making the score tied again. 4-all. Colgate now has possession. Serves it over, makes it over the net. Lehigh able to bend down, get that bump set spike. Colgate tries to block it, but they keep it in the air for possession. Colgate taps it back over. Lehigh is able to keep it in the air, almost going out of bounds. They set it back up, giving Colgate the opportunity to bump, set, spike it down, but it's unsuccessful. Hits the net, giving Lehigh that point.
Lehigh sends Colgate a free ball. Unfortunately, Colgate isn't able to get the tip over the net. Goes and dribbles down on their side of the court.
Lehigh now with possession. Successfully serves it over the net. Colgate was able to respond. Sets it back over. Lehigh with their 3 touches.
Right, tough serve.
Colgate was unable to set that ball up, giving Lehigh the point.
Very tough serve. Martinez is able to come up with the ball, get some air on it. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get a good swing out of it.
Lehigh serves it back over. Colgate with a response, bump set, spikes it down. Lehigh tries to block it, unsuccessful touch.
Great swing by Colgate right in between the block, breaks through the seam, and goes through in between the 2 back defenders, getting their point.
Yes, Colgate with the point. Lehigh still in the lead by 1, 6-5 now. Colgate with possession. Colgate serves it over successfully. Lehigh hits it up. Lehigh taps it over. Colgate able to dive and get the response. Colgate tries to spike it. Lehigh blocks it but keeps possession. Lehigh spikes it down. Colgate unable to successfully hit that return, giving Lehigh the point and a 2-point lead.
Great rip by McCartney. Bounces off the arms of Martinez. And it dribbles off the court. Great set by Smith. Schulte up to serve.
Lehigh successfully serves it over. Colgate tries to tap it back down. Lehigh blocks it, but Colgate keeps it in the air. Lehigh now is possessed, tries to spike it down, but it was more of a trick. Looked like she was going to spike, then she tapped it, caught Colgate off. Colgate was unable to successfully hit it back over, letting it go out of bounds, and Lehigh getting the point and keeping possession.
But there was a great great cover by Signa off that block. Very hard to keep up with, and she did.
Lehigh successfully serves it over. Colgate with the response on the bump. Tries to set it down. Lehigh able to set it back. Lehigh with 2 hits down. Colgate takes their 3. Lehigh blocks it. Colgate tries to spike it up. Lehigh tries to make the dive. Unfortunately, couldn't take
the great Colgate coverage. They were able to give their outside hitters multiple opportunities to get swings, and the last one was terminal. Point goes to Colgate.
Colgate now with possession. Colgate successfully serves it over. Lehigh with the bump, set, spikes it down. Colgate able to respond. Colgate hits it, and it was blocked by Lehigh, but Lehigh is able to keep it in the air. Lehigh found that perfect spot. Nobody was there.
That was such a great play, because Washington, she doesn't get the prettiest up on the ball. It kind of hits her elbow, maybe could have gone askew. It goes back to Smith perfectly, and she sets Washington up. She goes up for it, and she swings. She goes cross court.
Lehigh getting the
Great
point
play.
there. Lehigh with possession. Successfully serves it over the net. Colgate responds, bump, set, spike it down. Lehigh tries to block it, hits off of arm, and goes out of bounds, giving Colgate the point right back. Score is 9-7 Lehigh.
Great kill off the Lehigh block.
Colgate serves it over. Lehigh bump, tries to tap it over. Colgate with the dive save. Lehigh tries to keep it in the air, successfully does it. They tap it back down. Colgate unable to keep possession, hitting it out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point.
This is a great set for the senior outside hitter, Washington. She goes in with the tip this time around, and it gets past Colgate's defenses. The first one provided by Smith's side almost drops to the floor, but Martinez gets there in time. But the second time around, that was not possible.
Lehigh with possession, hits it over the net successfully. Colgate bumps it, spikes it down. Lehigh dives, makes the save. Lehigh tries to keep it in their possession. Colgate was able to tap it back, giving them the point. It is now 10-8 Lehigh. That last point went to Colgate, giving Colgate possession. Serving now, Colgate successfully over the net. Lehigh bump, set, spikes it down. It was blocked by Colgate, but Lehigh keeps it in the air for 1 hit, but is unable to get the second, giving Colgate the point. It is now a 1-point lead for Lehigh. Colgate with possession. Colgate getting ready to serve it over. Makes it over the net. Lehigh tries to keep it in the air, goes a little to the outside, but they're unsuccessful in making it over the net. That was a hard spike to keep it in. Hits the net. Colgate getting the point now, making this a tie
going
game.
on now 3 points.
Streak, yes.
Yeah, that's the word, a 3-point run.
Colgate
up,
keeping
10-10.
possession. Successfully hits it over. Lehigh unable to bump that up, giving them the ace. Colgate is now up 11-10.
Very tough server. Overmeyer goes back in with an ace. It hits Washington. Unfortunately, it couldn't come up off her hands. She goes for Washington again.
Colgate successfully serves. Lehigh hits it back over. Colgate tries to hit it, goes out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point. It is now a tie game again. Bit of a rally going on there. Subs are being made. Spiked a little too hard by Colgate. Lehigh's possession successfully serves it over. Colgate is able to respond. Taps it over, blocked by Lehigh, giving us the point. Lehigh once again takes the lead. It's now 12-11 Lehigh. Hawks with possession. Successfully serves over. Colgate with the bump, set, spikes it down. Lehigh's able to keep it in the air. The ball hit the ceiling. Lehigh was unable to quickly respond to that quick bounce, giving Colgate the point. It is now tied again.
Bayless makes her presence known back on the court. Number 22 coming in with that tough rip. right
Colgate
at
with
Schulte.
possession.
It bounces off her arms, goes high in the air, and they weren't able to get a good play out of it.
Colgate serves it over. Lehigh bump set, spikes it down. Colgate unable to respond. Hit right into that left corner, giving them the point. Lehigh is now up, keeping possession now. Brown serves it over for Lehigh. Colgate able to respond. Colgate with the point. They were able to hit it back over. Lehigh did block it, but were unable to
And
keep
the ball goes
possession.
really short. It almost dances right along the net,
Yes.
parallel to the court, and Schulte wasn't able to come up with it. Brown does send a great short serve over to Colgate, but Colgate was able to get it up.
Score is tied again. Colgate serves it over successfully. Lehigh bump, set, spikes it down. Colgate able to respond. Colgate hits it. It is called in. That ball was close.
Great line shot by Garcia. Then the ball, and Colgate takes a rip out that ball, and it hits the line perfectly.
Colgate is now in the lead, 14-13. Colgate getting ready to serve it over. It is called in. That is an ace. Lehigh did not seem to be ready there. The ball was not even touched. Seems like a timeout has been called.
Yeah, no, Colgate's phenomenal with the serves. Incredibly tough to come up with that. So, and that's what's hindering the Hawks right now. Every time they go in the lead, they get a strong server on their lines, and that cuts off their run. In fact, gives Colgate the momentum to keep on going and, in fact, take the lead themselves.
Very back and forth here. You know, just as quick as Lehigh lost the lead, they could quickly gain it back. Colgate seems to be really in it right now.
I think they could if they responded with some really strong serves themselves.
Yes. About 10 seconds left here in the timeout. Colgate still leading by 2. And here we go. Our players are taking back the court. Just as intense as any Division I women's volleyball game. The energy is up. The spirit is up. The intensity is going. Colgate serves it over. Lehigh is able to keep it up. Set it back over to Colgate. Colgate is able to set it up also. Lehigh with the dive and save. 2 people going at it at once, but they're still able to make it over the net. Colgate tries to tap it back, hits the floor, giving them the point. Colgate with a 3-point lead now. It seems that we're having a bit of a communication problem on Lehigh as more than one person is going for the ball.
Yeah, I was just about to mention, especially that kind of, I don't know how to articulate it, but everybody almost like piled on top of each other to get that last ball. It does show grit, but they also need to communicate again.
Agreed. Colgate with another ace. Oh, excuse me, that went out of bounds.
It did go out of bounds. It's difficult to notice.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you expect them to go out, they dance and they hit right on the line. Sometimes it's the opposite. Fingal made the right call, sidestepping to her right, and the ball, letting the ball go out and getting Lehigh the point.
Yes, it shows how important the flagsmen on the sides are. Those little calls gotta be made. Lehigh with possession. They served it over successfully. Colgate tries to bump set and spike it. Goes out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point. Lehigh is right back in it, 1 point behind. Lehigh keeping possession here. Thompson with the serve for Lehigh, successful over the net. Colgate dives to set it up. Lehigh responds, tries to keep it in bounds, does it successfully. One more hit to make it back over, spikes it down. Colgate was able to respond. They hit it back over quickly. With a 1-touch, Lehigh was not prepared for that, giving Colgate the point and a 2-point lead. It is now 17-15 Colgate.
All right, great set by Jones. That was a very tough pass, but she is able to get her hitter to get a hittable ball, and then they're able to tip it over. on the second touch.
Here we
Very
have
aggressive at the
Colgate.
net, and it's to their benefit. They're in the lead with 2 points.
Colgate serves it over successfully. Lehigh bends down to get the bump. Set, spikes it down. It is called out of bounds, giving the point to Colgate. Very close there. The flag has been raised, saying that it was out. Quick judgments have to be made there, especially of how fast it's spiked down. Colgate serves it over successfully. Lehigh dives down to bump and save it. Bump, set, tap it over. Colgate able to keep it in the air, but it hits the net, giving Lehigh the point right back.
Martinez gets the ball up for Colgate. Unfortunately, it's very hard. It was very hard, quite difficult to get that second touch. There wasn't enough space to move their arms freely. Overmare tries to go for it, but the ball goes
Schulte
out of
serves
reach.
it over for Lehigh. Colgate with a backwards tap.
Okay.
Wow.
Jones with the backwards tip. Wow, I have not seen that.
Neither have I. That
In a
was
while.
Yeah,
Wow.
Lehigh.
It definitely caught the Hawks off guard, and getting that point, that ball goes down, hits
Not
the
much.
floor.
Yeah, not much to do for that. That
Without
was
much resistance, yeah.
very cheeky.
That is a great word, a very cheeky play. All right.
The point
and
is right back.
There's a response.
Point goes to Lehigh, giving them possession right back. Serving now for Lehigh is
The Raiders thought they could be mischievous. The Hawks say, me too. Me too.
McCartney now with possession for Lehigh, getting ready to serve it over. Makes it successfully. Oh, it is called out of bounds. That ball floated right over to the opposite side.
And Colgate's the first to 20.
Subs being made, both sides now. Colgate with possession. Colgate successfully serves it. Lehigh with the bump. Set. Taps it over. Colgate is able to hit it right back. Lehigh sets it up. Taps it back. Colgate able to bump it, keeping it in the air. Sets themselves up for a spike. Lehigh with the block. Spikes it right back by Colgate. Lehigh sets it up again. Spikes it down. Colgate with the bump. Set. Spikes it down. Lehigh unable to respond.
Great tenacity from Hochschild's part. That was her third swing. It took her 3 swings for her to be terminal, but she got there. The first 2 weren't able to hit the ground. The Hawks' defense was there. They were ready.
Yeah.
And she kept on going for it. Even for the second hit, she didn't even need the set. It bounced off the block. She just went back, took a leap, and went for it again.
Thompson was very close to hitting the ball there. Missed it by just an inch. You know, it's so hard to respond so quickly to these big sets. Timeout has been called. Score is now 21-17 Colgate.
I will say that last set by Smith to Washington went a little long, hence why she wasn't able to get that. The ball wasn't at its highest point, so she wasn't able to get a good swing out of it. And so instead she just passes it over and sends the free ball back to Colgate, which at this point of the game is a bit of a dangerous thing to do, especially since they now have taken the 4-point lead.
Absolutely.
Let's see how they respond.
About 20 seconds left here in the timeout. Colgate is 4 points away from winning their second set. And as we take back the court now. Colgate keeps possession. Lehigh's probably hoping that timeout would break their streak. Colgate sets it back over. Point goes to Colgate. Very interesting play that just happened here. Colgate hit it back over. Lehigh blocked it. It looked like it went in, but it went out, giving Colgate the point. And keeping possession, Colgate serves it over successfully. Lehigh bump, set, spikes it down. It goes out of bounds, giving Colgate another point. Colgate is now 2 points away from winning their second set. 23-17 Colgate. Colgate with their possession still.
We see Keckler talking to the referees, one of the referees on the floor. After a brief discussion, they're back. we're back in the game.
Collgate getting ready to serve. Service successfully over. Lehigh's able to respond. Bump, set, taps it back over. Collgate was able to tap it right back. Spikes it down for Collgate. Lehigh unable to keep up with it, giving Collgate the point.
You know what that means? It's Colgate's set point. Fingal comes in for Washington.
Collgate sets it over for their match point.
For the serve.
Lehigh barely keeps it up, is able to make it over the net back. Collgate keeps it in the air after hitting the net, but able to keep possession. Lehigh is able to bounce back. Collgate with possession again, bump, set. Collgate with the winning point. Lehigh was unable to block it. It went out of bounds.
Takes that set phenomenally with Hochschild's rip off the block, ending the set with a side out.
And Collgate is now two
Very
sets
tough
up.
Serve by Jones at the beginning of that play. Got the Hawks, as you were saying, they were barely able to get the ball over the net, but they did. You saw they had some fight left. They were fighting in this set, but Collgate was just too clean. Even with their defense, it was bouncing off elbows, shoulders, and they still got Hochschild the opportunity she needed to take that set.
Yep. Very intense back and forth here. Collgate.
It's like, boom, you blinked, and then Collgate was in the lead by not just 2-3 points, but by 4, 5. And then boom, that ended.
Lehigh was just stuck at that 17 number. Gonna get past it, unfortunately. Collgate definitely has some cushion going into this next set.
Yes,
Lehigh a little more pressure.
They want to win, and they just might. They have a 2-set lead, one more, and the game is theirs. Question is, what are the Hawks thinking? What's their mindset going into this? That'll be critical in order to get them to reverse sweep if they so choose. All right, and the Hawks are here deliberating, and so are the Raiders. Let's see what kind of strategies they utilize in this third set, and we'll be back after this short break. Stay tuned. And we're back. Starting off that third set. Both teams are back on the court.
Colgate with possession first. Lehigh's just having a final. Final chat there. All right, serving now is Jones for Colgate. Successfully serves it over the net. Lehigh with the bump, sets it back up, spikes it down. Colgate blocks. Colgate is able to keep it in their possession in the air. Spikes it down, giving them the first point of the third set.
Great line shot there.
Absolutely, that was very hard to return on Lehigh's behalf.
Colgate's been going mostly for touches off the block and very successful siding out. Colgate, there was a different type of shot.
With the service error for Colgate, went out of bounds. Score is now tied up. Possession went right back to Lehigh. Lehigh getting ready to serve now. Serves it over. Colgate responds. Blocked by Lehigh, giving us the point. Score is now 2-1 Lehigh. Lehigh takes the lead just like that. Lehigh keeping possession now. Serves successfully. Colgate bump set, spikes it down. Unable to respond by Lehigh.
That was a wicked snap of the wrist by Snyder. Colgate's middle blocker.
Fortunately,
going up on the right side, going for that rip, getting the point.
Bingel bumps Colgate's service. Colgate tries to keep it in the air with the response. We have a rally going on here. Lehigh keeps it back up, tries to serve it down. Hits off Colgate's player, giving Lehigh the point there.
Yeah, they got a touch off the block. Colgate wasn't able to respond to it. Lehigh takes the point.
Lehigh keeping possession, serves it over successfully. Colgate bump set, spikes it down, giving them the point.
Now that was a tough reception by Colgate. It kind of goes off the forearm of... It goes off their forearm, but they were still able to get a great ball to the setter.
Lehigh
They're
responds.
able to get a nice line shot off of it.
Colgate is unable to respond to that spike by Lehigh. Went out of bounds off of them, giving Lehigh the point and the lead. 4-3 now. Lehigh successfully serves it back over. Colgate bumps it, spikes it down. That was nasty.
All right, Allchild back, taking a rip down the line and goes into that deep corner.
Possession is going back and forth here.
And Lehigh and Colgate are tied up.
4-all. Colgate with possession. Successfully serves it over. Lehigh with a bump. Set. Tries to spike it over, but it was blocked by Colgate. But Lehigh sets it back up again. Tries to tap it over. It's unable to make it over the net, giving Colgate the point and the lead.
Nice job by Thompson there, stepping in to be the secondary setter. Unfortunately, ball didn't go high enough for Washington to get a good clean cross-court shot out of it.
Colgate serves it over. Lehigh responds, bump set, spikes it down. Colgate hits it,
and
goes
Washington's
out of bounds.
Back. She goes, takes a rip down the middle this time, and it goes off the hands of Colgate. Getting her kill.
Score is now tied again.
And we're tied again.
Possession back to Lehigh. Lehigh hits it over successfully. Colgate takes things slow there, but is able to keep the possession. Lehigh barely keeps it up.
Very nice dive by Schulte on the right.
In the end, Lehigh was not able to respond back to Colgate's response.
Wow, great play.
That was a very cool rally.
Colgate, aggressive as always, sending the ball hard over to the Hawks. a little bit by surprise, but Schulte was ready. Great reflexes there. Fortunately, no clean kill for the Hogs.
Colgate back with
Point
possession
Colgate.
and the lead. Serves it over successfully. Lehigh tries to keep it on their half. They successfully do it. Spike goes out of bounds by Lehigh, giving Colgate another point. Score is now 7-5 Colgate.
That was an exciting, quick set. Unfortunately, it was a little wide.
Colgate keeping possession now.
All right, Shadwick up to serve.
Shadwick makes it over the net. Lehigh responds. Lehigh tries to spike it. It is blocked by Colgate, giving them their 3rd point in a row.
Shut down by Thompson. That Colgate block is something fierce. The ball goes ricocheting off of their hands, and there was no coverage for it on the Hawk side.
Colgate keeping possession, successfully serves it over the net. It goes out of bounds.
Ending the 3-point run for the Raiders.
Yes, the streak has ended there. Hawks got the point. It's now a 2-point lead by Colgate.
But what a great run. Very strong service.
You know, the set just started, but it's already very
Shadwick.
intense, very back and forth. Lehigh serves it over. Colgate tries to hit it back.
All right.
It's blocked by Lehigh, giving Lehigh the point.
Meager and Smith teaming up for the block. Seeing that ball dribble, making him a little nervous, but hey, got him the point in the end. Great block.
I'm going to take a moment here. It seems that the block seemed to hit one of Colgate's players
Ooh.
directly in the face.
Oh.
She seems to be okay.
I thought there was a question of whether or not touched the tape or he dribbled out of play.
She's okay.
Oh, what happened? It hit Overmare right in the face, but she's a tough one, made of tough stock.
And she's staying in it.
She's in it.
She's back in ready position already. Seems to be all right. Lehigh serves it over the net. Colgate taps it back over, but Lehigh was able to quickly respond, hits it out of bounds, unfortunately, giving Colgate that point.
All right,
but
Jones
the response
goes for
was
the
there.
tip, but McCartney was ready. Fortunately, the ball goes a little awry, a little skew. Smith goes for the rip, goes a little wide.
Colgate with possession, serves it over. It is called out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point. Colgate with a 1-point lead. Lehigh now has possession. Lehigh serves. Over the net. Colgate with the bump, set, spikes it down. Lehigh able to keep it in the air. It went out of bounds, giving Colgate the point and a 2-point lead. It is now 10-8 Colgate. Lehigh tried to keep it up in the air there. The ball flew out. Colgate now with possession. Serving is Jones for Colgate. Lehigh is able to keep it up with a little set. After 3 hits, ooh, a little collision there for Colgate, but they keep it up. Hit it back over for Lehigh. Lehigh does their 3 touches down. It's blocked by Colgate.
Great blocks. They're what made Colgate's better is that they were able to close their block out. For the Hawks side, there was a bit. Meager was a little bit late to the block, so there was a little bit of a gap between them, and Colgate was, so when I believe Hochschild came to take the kill, she was able to get it and break between the seams.
What happened there was when Colgate blocked it, it went out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point. Lehigh served. Colgate was able to spike it back down, giving themselves a point. The score is now 11-9 Colgate, and Colgate now currently has possession. Colgate serves it over the net. Lehigh sets, bumps, spikes it over. Colgate able to respond. They set it up nicely after 3 touches. They tap it. Lehigh tries to block it. It went right past them. It goes under, giving Colgate the point. And a 3-point lead. Colgate keeping possession. Colgate successfully serves it. Lehigh takes their 3 touches, taps it back over. Colgate now takes their 3 touches, spikes it, goes out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point, right back in it. (12-10) Colgate. Both teams seem to be very responsive. Lehigh serves it over successfully. Colgate bumps it into the air. Colgate takes their three, tries to hit it. Lehigh blocks it, giving us the point. It is now a 1-point lead by Colgate.
All right,
Lehigh
Schulte
keeping possession.
And McCartney with that great block. That is the kind of clean blocks that the Hawks need to make in order to make a good comeback this set.
Lehigh serves it over, it goes out of bounds, giving Colgate the point right back. Colgate now has possession. Serving for them is Martinez. Colgate serves it over. It is called out of bounds, giving Lehigh the point right back. It is now a 1-point lead by Colgate. Lehigh with possession. Lehigh sets it up to serve. Over the net successfully. Colgate bumps, sets it up, spikes it over, blocked by Lehigh, giving us the point. It is now a tie game.
There we go. Those are the types of blocks we're looking for.
Just as quick as they lost the lead, they took it right back.
It was a strong pass, but it did get Jones running. She makes a great set.
Lehigh serves.
Smith and McCartney shut them down.
Not quite sure what happened there. Colgate did get the point. We had a little rally going back and forth. Whistle was blown by one of the referees. Colgate now has possession. Serves it over. Lehigh bumps, keeps it up in the air, sets, taps it over. Colgate was able to respond. Lehigh spikes it back down before they make a move. Colgate keeps it on their side, spikes it. Lehigh responds with a bump, set back, spikes it, it hits the net, giving Colgate the point and a 2-point lead.
All right, Schulte had a great approach, but the ball did go into the net.
Timeout has been called. Colgate is now on a point streak.
Lehigh Athletics is celebrating 50 years of women's sports at Lehigh all year long.
Announcements were just made that Lehigh is currently celebrating 50 years of women's sports. That is a big accomplishment.
Heck yeah.
Of course, you know, we have an all-female team here, too.
That we do.
Broadcasting.
That is quite novel and wonderful news.
For those who don't know, Lehigh was actually founded as an all-men's school, too.
So hey, now in 2023, the tables are turning. I believe that's something the Hawks are also thinking about, hoping that their tables will turn in this set. Colgate is again taking a little bit of a lead. And you know what happens when Colgate takes just the smallest, even when there's a small deficit in Colgate's favor, they know how to turn that into a run, whether they're straight off a timeout or starting up a fresh set. The Hawks need to come up with a clean, strong response if they want to win this match.
Absolutely. Very well said. And Lehigh was able to tie it up at one point. Doesn't mean they can't do it again. It's been a while since they've had the lead, but timeout has been called over. Colgate.
That's what's great about the sport, if I might interject.
Yes.
One team might have the lead one set, and then that switches up. You never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Yes, Colgate serves it over.
All with one play.
It is a carry by Lehigh. The set there wasn't a set. Unfortunately, Lehigh had a carry violation, giving Colgate the point and a 3-point lead and keeping possession. Serves it over successfully by Colgate. Lehigh tries to set it up. 3 touches, spikes it down.
Awesome.
There we go. That's the response Lehigh has been looking for.
That's the ideal play for the Hawks. Schulte gets a perfect pass.
Washington spikes it down.
To Smith, who sends a great pass across the court to Washington, and they go, or pardon me, Fingal. Fingal takes a nice rip.
Lehigh sets it over successfully. Bit of a rally.
Twice. That last kill was by Washington. Going great. Going right into cross court.
Colgate got the point there, giving them possession right back. Shadwick is now serving. Score is 17-14 Colgate. Chadwick serves it over successfully. Lehigh with the bump, set, spikes it down. Colgate, without any sort of response, went straight into that left corner. Score is now 17-15 Colgate. Lehigh with possession.
Great job. Smith runs the middle.
Both teams are right in it. Lehigh serves it over. Colgate responds with a bump, tries to tap it back. Lehigh blocks it and barely keeps it in their possession. Tries to tap it over. Lehigh tries to keep the ball up from a spike, but it goes out of bounds, giving Colgate the point,
Great
continuing their
coverage by
lead.
Brown. Fortunately, that was a very tough ball.
Colgate has the lead on this third set.
So here we see the Hawks putting up a bit of a fight. Great sets, great rips. But it is going to take a little more than that to overcome the Colgate's lead.
Colgate serves it over successfully. Lehigh with the bounce back. Lehigh serves it over. Sets it over. Goes out of bounds. No, they thought it was going to go out of bounds, Lehigh, so they're unable to respond. It stayed in, giving Colgate that win, that point.
All right.
Timeout has been called. Colgate has still seemed to be on a streak here.
Another timeout has been called. Lehigh did seem to go on a mini, if not micro run, getting themselves 2 consecutive points, making great plays. Fortunately, maybe not so unfortunately, depending on the perspective, but Colgate cuts off that momentum quick, going back to the strong, aggressive tactics, which they're having great success with. So Hawks are making that great of a run as they wish until timeout has been called. Seems like Keko is running through the plays again, maybe discussing how to execute them.
About 25 seconds left here in timeout. The band is ironically playing what sounds like Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. And I guess that goes for Colgate because, you know, they're doing great so far. They are winning 2 out of the 3
This is
sets.
their match. Great defense, great blocks, wonderful sets.
You know,
Let's see if they can keep it up.
Yep, good for you, but Lehigh's still in it.
Hey,
Down by 4.
you could say it's still anyone's match. Let's see if that holds
Oh,
up true.
100%. And that's the thing you were saying before about volleyball, you know?
Yeah,
Just
exactly why I'm here.
Colgate getting ready to serve.
Right, Sal.
Over the net.
Salvi's serving.
Lehigh tries to set it up.
Oh, and that is an ace. Very strong serve by Sulaby. My apologies.
Lehigh tries to set
Sulaby
it.
was on the service line, and she's back at it again.
Unfortunate touch there by Lehigh, sending it to go out of
Colgate's
bounds.
the first of 20.
5-point lead by Colgate. Colgate hits it over successfully. Lehigh with a nice bump. Set, spikes it down, blocked by Colgate. Lehigh keeps it in the air. They try to spike it over. Lehigh all crowded to one area, giving Colgate the opportunity to spike it to that space where they were able to get the point. Score is now 21-15 Colgate. 4 points away from winning the whole game.
Seems like Washington did read that play a little bit and was running in that direction. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to get under that ball.
Colgate serves it, hits the net, breaking their streak. Lehigh now has possession.
That was a great service run, though.
For sure.
Perhaps rattling the Hawks a bit with a now 5-point deficit.
Lehigh now with possession. Serves it over successfully. Colgate bump, set, taps it over. Lehigh with the diving save, tries to keep possession. They tap it back. Lehigh with one more hit down, blocked by Colgate, giving Colgate the point.
Great dive by the setter. Lehigh setter Smith going for that ball. Schulte making that second set.
Everything's very fast-paced here.
They were shut out by Colgate.
Colgate with possession again. Serving is Jones on their side. Oh, it's a hit the tip of the net. Lehigh was still able to keep up with it. They didn't give up. Hit it over. Colgate with their touches back. Tries to tip it. Lehigh with the diving save. It goes right back to Lehigh.
Right, Colgate serves have been getting Lehigh a little bit disorganized. As we were talking about, people are diving all over the place, trying to get that ball up. At this point in the game, you need to be a little more cleaner about it, a little more intentional.
Collgate with possession. Serves it over. Lehigh with the bump. Set. Spikes it down. Blocked by Collgate, giving them the point. It is now 24-16. Collgate.
Colgate's at point.
It is.
I think what's happening here is that Colgate serves are very strong to the point where it gets Lehigh out of
Here's the
transition.
set point.
and
Serves it
therefore
over.
It gets their plays.
Goes out of bounds.
Makes their plays very predictable. It's easy to read, hence why those blocks, those ladies are ready.
Lehigh has another chance
Timing it
here.
perfectly.
Colgate served when out of bounds.
Fighting off one set point, it's 17-24 Colgate.
This point is very important here. Colgate not only wins the third set, but the entire match. Colgate responds to Lehigh's serve over the net.
Tough serve, free ball back to Lehigh.
Lehigh tries to spike it over. Colgate able to respond with a bump. Set, spikes it down, out of bounds. Lehigh staying in the game. It is now 24-18. Colgate still on that match point. Lehigh with possession. Lehigh serves it back over. Colgate bump set, spikes it down. It is in. Colgate takes the win
Right,
of the entire
Colgate
match.
dominant. Comes in with the kill.
Now he's set up to shake hands.
Great job by Shadow with that.
Unfortunately, it was a sweep by
Match
Colgate.
point, match kill.
All three sets today were won by Colgate. Lehigh
Was
keeping it
swept.
close.
But they put up a great fight. It just seems that Colgate, I'd say what made them win, why they were so dominant, so on top of things. They were just very aggressive straight from the get-go. I was even like, how are they keeping this up?
Yes.
That stamina is something ferocious, something to be reckoned with.
You know, even with the loss, the Mountain Hawks still showed once again what they're about, that they don't give up. They're gonna take
They
everything
just gotta refine
seriously.
that stamina a little bit. Not get startled when hard serves come their way. Maybe refine their own serves as well. So when they eventually pair up with a team like Colgate, somebody as aggressive as that, in every aspect of the game, they're ready.
Absolutely.
And they won't get surprised or caught off guard by such aggressive strategies, aggressive plays.
All right, thank you for joining us today here at Grace Hall at Lehigh University. This was Milena Sheldon.
And Janine Chacha tuning in.
Thank you so much for joining us for Women's Volleyball Division I. Unfortunately, the final score was 25-18 Colgate. We
It was
hope
a
to
great
see you
game.
guys for next time. Thank